My name is Dilara Senbilgin, and I'm one of the associate producers for the film.
Hi everyone, I am also one of the associate producers of the film. My name is Asligul, and Dilara and I have been involved in this project since pretty much the very earliest days of post-production, while production was also continuing. So we would love to hear your thoughts on the film and answer any questions that you have.
Anybody have any comments or questions right off the bat?
Hi, thank you very much for the film and the documentary. My question is, why did you pick to have the transcript inside the killing of Khashoggi inside the embassy and not enacting it as an act so people can see? Because it would have probably more powerful insight than transcript reading quick, especially that you have to read quickly to go through all the details. Because I've seen this throughout the film, and I thought probably if either reading it or doing the enactment, it would have been more powerful than.
It's a fair question. Do you want to answer, or I have an insight on this?
Go ahead.
This is just my take, of course, and Dilara can add to this, but the audio recordings from the consulate and the transcript were a huge part of our search throughout the filmmaking process. Our director, Ryan Fogel, had a very close relationship with the Turkish government. Okay, sorry, I thought that was for me, because I'm always very quiet. I do have a microphone now, though. Anyway, the process of trying to obtain the actual audio recordings was certainly a part of our production process. Unfortunately, that did not happen at the end. It was too much of a security concern, and for a variety of other reasons, the Turkish government didn't feel comfortable sharing the actual audio recordings with our production. However, they were comfortable sharing the transcript. My personal take on reenactments in documentaries is that for subject matter as serious as this, sometimes reenactments can break the fourth wall and add a degree of theatricality to these things. When I look at the transcripts and I read the words, I am chilled to the bone because there is nothing doctored or added by our production. That is just 100% what happened. Very much on board with the fact that it goes by too quickly, and I agree with you. But in a way, paring it down to that seemed like the most somber way to honor what actually happened to this man. So,
Yeah, I agree. And I think if there was a reenactment instead of just words, maybe it might have been a little disrespectful to what happened to Jamal. And you don't really need to hear or see some actors, just reenact what happened there. When you read the words, you can just imagine what happened there and how awful and, just horrible it was. And so, yeah, I agree on that part. But yeah, it goes by a little bit too quickly. So, but I think maybe it adds to the effect of just like, the thrill of the scene. So yeah.
Thank you both very much. This is actually and I'm one of the ones that was part of the procedure of choosing the films. And in the 6 years of the film festival that we've had, this was probably one of the most impactful films I have seen or screened. It was phenomenal, honestly. But I guess the question I have is that for you as associate producers and for everyone that I'm sure was involved in the film, what kind of a toll, what kind of an impact? I think it would have probably kept me up at night every night if I was working on it. I just wonder the impact that it had on all of you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was a security concern for all of us who worked at the post production, and of course, like I can't even imagine what Brian was going through, our director and writer and producer. So, yeah, we were definitely trying to be as safe as possible during the post production and just not really using any type of Wi-Fi or internet while we were working on the film, the editing, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had my own doubts before I said yes to working in this film. I'm just, you're always concerned, and, I'm a Turkish citizen, and I wasn't really sure how it would impact my life if I decide to go back to Turkey or, I'm a young filmmaker just living here. So I wasn't really, yeah, I had my doubts, but I think it's a very important story that needs to be told, that needs to be shared with people. So, the importance of the film just outweighed the fear of it, I think.
A couple of things to add to that, especially on the emotional side that Dilara was talking about. We are probably the people who were involved in the film for the longest time, if you discount like the top line talent, which are like, the director, the writer, and the producers. We were there even before the editors were, because we were sifting through everything that was shot, and we were also in charge, because we're the foreign language component of the film, we were also in charge of establishing all the archival to give the editors something to work with. So, and of course the interview questions. So living with something at such a detailed level and deep diving into it was certainly emotional. I remember Ibrahim at one point, who is also one of our associate producers, French-Egyptian, he told us he had had some nightmares. Do you remember this? He used to have nightmares while we were working, and dreamed that MBS was coming after him for whatever reason. And in terms of like the heaviness of the subject matter, sometimes I would feel completely cold-blooded. I'd be going through being like, murder this, bonesaw this, watching hours and hours of this. And then, one day you'd sit down, you'd watch it, and suddenly you'd be like, I'm not well. I need to take a second. So it would come in bursts, I think. And I think it's going to continue to affect our lives in some way because, like Dilara said, we're Turkish citizens and we're very involved in the region. I travel there all the time. My family is still in Turkey. And quite recently, I was in Lebanon for another film, and my mother called me back early because she had convinced herself that Saudi agents were coming after me. And I said, Mom, if they wanted to get me, they could get me anywhere, if that film's proved anything. But yeah, it was, like Dilara said, to conclude, the honor of working on this film far outweighs these kinds of downsides that we've experienced. But thank you for choosing this film.